My children are not mini-me's. They're their own people. Now, here's that becomes difficult. When I realize what the opposite of a mini-me is someone that I don't have control over. Seems really basic, but when it comes really down to it, that means they're gonna do for their livelihood, to take care of themselves, for their living, whatever line of work they are actually inclined to do, and it's none of my business. It's actually a disservice to them as their father if I try to pressure them into the type of work that I want to do. I've seen plenty of people have experienced it. I meet new people every day. That's a mild exaggeration. Every week, that's a lot. Who are in lines of work they don't want to be in, but they were pushed into it from a young age, and now they're stuck in that line of work. That's when people often really realize that they're overly attached to their kids in unhealthy ways, and they go, oh my God, my kid's like old enough to start deciding what he wants to do for a living. Yeah, I need to subtly or not so subtly encourage him to do this. I'll pay for his college if he does this. I'll help her pursue her line of work and her interests if it's in this way. I'll very subtly discourage these natural inclinations they have, because that's not a very healthy line of work. This has been going on for generations. Over a century ago, the man who wrote the children's classic novel, The Wind in the Willows, was encouraged and forced in this way. He became a banker because of intense family pressure. He was awesome at it. I said, oh, look at him, he's so good at it. But he hated his quality of life. He just wanted to be in the arts. Finally, he pushed away living his life as a banker and being objectively, visibly successful in it, but having no love for what he did. And he finally got into the arts, and he wrote an incredible classic that brought color to so many people's lives, The Wind in the Willows. Imagine if he'd been encouraged from a young age, even if no one else in his family was in that type of natural line of work. They noticed his proclivities from a young age, and they said, oh, you're naturally inclined towards these types of works. Let's help you get lessons in these types of areas. Then by the time he's in his 20s, instead of feeling at a loss of what he could do that would please his family, he'd go, well, you know, I might not have exactly what I want to do narrowed down, but I know it's in this general field, and I've been encouraging my family to build the skill sets in that field. Often the way this disgusting, damaging cycle of being forced to do what our parents want us to do continues is we were forced to do X, Y, Z by our parents when really we wanted to do A, B, C. So we think, I won't force my kids to do X, Y, Z that my parents did. I'll force them to do A, B, C. And it continues. As a father, I want to look at what my kids' natural proclivities are and encourage them in that. Maybe it'll just be a hobby. But maybe it'll be something by the time they get 15, 16, they're still really into it. And by the time they're 19 or 20, they're like, hey, I want to start working in this. I can help them by realizing they're not mini-me's. What do they want to do? And help them pursue their interests to build these skill sets. I want to do that for them.